Good evening. Good evening. We are here to take back the night. So let's hear it. Take back the night. And we've been here since 1970s when I got involved in my first Take Back the Night. I am Hal Payne. I am Vice President for Student Affairs, and I'm so proud and appreciative that so many of you have thought it important enough to come out tonight so that we can take back the night. The President of the United States, Barack Obama, has heard you when you have spoken in the past. President Obama has said sexual violence is more than just a crime against individuals. It threatens our families, it threatens our communities. Ultimately, it threatens the entire country. It tears apart the fabric of our communities. About this time last year, I was honored to be invited to the White House. We were invited by Vice President Biden. There were about 8 of us college officers and officers of higher education associations in Washington who came to hear Vice President Biden begin the You Are Not Alone initiative. And I know you've seen the ads featuring a number of celebrities and famous Americans. The message that President Obama made clear and that this initiative enunciates is that victims are not alone. And victims tonight should know that at Buffalo State, they are not alone. You spoke and you were heard by the President. You spoke and you were heard by the Congress. While we were in Washington, Senator Kristen Gillibrand let us know about her legislation to take this issue to the Senate of the United States. And of course, Congressman McCardle has taken this issue to the House. You have spoken and you have been heard. To borrow a statement from the great Audre Lorde, you spoke for those who do not speak, for those who do not have a voice because they were so terrified, because they are taught to respect fear more than they respect themselves. We have been taught that silence would save us, but it won't. So you are here tonight to roar like Bengals, to make certain that your voices are heard. In the past, we spoke through Take Back the Night, and the governor of the state of New York has heard us. Governor Cuomo this year unveiled the Enough is Enough campaign, designed to address what he called an epidemic of sexual assaults on college campuses. You spoke, and at the governor's insistence, the chancellor of the State University of New York, Nancy Zimpher, heard you. She has adopted a comprehensive uniform sexual assault prevention and response policy for SUNY campuses. And SUNY board chairman Carl McCall has said the State University of New York now has the most comprehensive, victim-centered set of sexual assault policies at any college campus or system of higher education in the country. You spoke, and we at Buffalo State have just revised our Code of Student Conduct to provide for greater protection for victims of violence, sexual violence. And so I'm proud that you have spoke and we have listened. And what you're here today to do is speak again on behalf of victims of sexual violence. What you're here to do tonight is to do what we've done since the 1970s. You're here to take back the night. And so, take it back, take it back, take back the night. Enjoy the evening.
Thank you, Vice President Payne. And good evening, everyone. I'm Charles Kenyon, Dean of Students, and I support Take Back the Night. As Vice President Payne said, this is a time that we renew our commitment to ending sexual violence on campus and in our communities. Tonight is a time to reflect on the actions we take and their consequences, asking if we really did all we could do to prevent harm. We hold Take Back the Night because we know that deeply and profoundly the sexual violence will disrupt the life of a victim. It'll create wounds that will not heal and memories that will not fade. To get you familiar with what I'm talking about, let me try an exercise you can help me with. You all know your last name. If your last name begins with the letter A, B, C, D, E, F, or G. Last name A, B, C, D, E, F, or G. First letter. Could you stand up? If your last name is A through G. Well, wow, that may be a little more than I expected. That's about 20% of the alphabet. That's about 20% of our audience. Look around at these people standing in front of you. See their faces? This is what the White House report that Vice President Payne mentioned when they say 1 in 5 women will be sexually assaulted while in college. This is about 20% of the audience, a little more I'd say. So when you hear that statistic, this is the number of victims we're talking about. Think about it. Thank you. Have a seat. So we're here tonight because we want to put an end to that number of victims. We want to put an end to the reasons for Take Back the Night. But we need all of your help. We need you to help us make Buffalo State the kind of caring community where violence, especially sexual violence, is not tolerated. Not by you, not by your friends, not by any of us. But sadly, sexual violence is still very real in America. This week, on Monday, I read in our Buffalo News a report about a 19-year-old woman who was sexually assaulted by 2 or more male college students on a beach during spring break in Florida. And you might expect this kind of violence during spring break in Florida. But it was really disturbing to read what the local sheriff had to say. He said, within 10 feet of where this happened, there's hundreds of people standing there watching, looking, seeing, hearing what's going on. Bystanders who did nothing to help. And if it can happen in Florida, it could happen here, unless you do your part. You, our students, are the only ones who can create our campus culture. You send the messages to tell other students what they can and cannot do, what is right and what is wrong in our campus community. What you do while you're here as a student creates the traditions that are passed down to future generations. Now, in your program tonight, you can read about a new tradition we've created by our counseling center called the Upstander Award. We created this to recognize individuals who've taken the time to help another person in distress, a person having difficulty, or someone who may be about to get hurt. So we've got a number of people in the audience who were selected to receive the Upstander Award. I'm going to call their names. We can hold our applause. Kelly Booz, Michelle Downey, Brian Dubenian, Andrea Gustafson, Amy Fish, Patricia Hayes. Please stand, everyone, as I call your name. Michael Heflin, Michael Myers, and Pamela Steffen. These are our Upstander heroes. You can collect your awards in the lobby and sit down. Thank you. So now, as our program begins, I challenge all of you to help us build a culture and tradition of caring at Buffalo State. Our goal is a campus free from sexual violence. It'll take time to reach that goal. Along the way, some of you will fall victim to sexual harassment, violence, or assault. And that's when the rest of us need to be there, helping to support victims as they cope with their pain and return to their daily lives. So remember to care, remember to give hope, remember that you can change the course of history just by doing your part to take back the night. So I want to make note that we have members of our counseling center staff available to speak with anyone who may need assistance during the program. I'm not sure if they're here to raise their hands in the back, or you might see them in the lobby. They're standing in the back raising their hands. And earlier this week, we had a window painting contest for Sexual Violence Prevention Week in the residence halls, and I need to announce that Newman Hall was this year's winner. So congratulations, Newman Hall. These events are terrific. They take a lot of work. I want to thank you for coming, and I want to thank everyone who worked so hard to plan tonight's program, especially Paula Madrigal, Director of Health Promotions, Amanda Wickmark, Program Director, Chelsea Rush, Artistic Director, Ajian Spearman and Farah St. Cloud, Media Production, Carrie Findley from Equity and Diversity, and all of the survivors, performers, and health promotion interns and volunteers who made tonight's program possible. Let's give them a round of applause. On with the show. Good evening. Take back the night. Thank you.
I'm Kate Conway-Turner, and I'm the president of Buffalo State College. And I want to welcome you to Take Back the Night. This is a very exciting event, and we're so happy to have you all here. I think that the objectives of Take Back the Night are to provide an opportunity to highlight the sexual assault as an issue. We have been talking about this for many years across our campuses, and we continue to understand the importance of it, and we continue to understand how we need to continue to fight this issue. Just because someone has not verbalized a no does not mean that you have a yes. We as a community really understand that to work together, to live together in harmony, we really have to respect each other. Buffalo State does a number of things to support survivors of sexual assault. We have a very strong support system through the Weigel Health Center, through our counseling center, and so we have people available to talk and work with students that have faced this particular issue. Also as a community in general.
Weigel Health Promotions has been working on Take Back the Night for many, many years. This is really an opportunity to let survivors share their stories, whether it be through dance, poetry, speaking out, and for people who want to support the message and survivors to do so as well. This is a conversation that we're having too late, and so I felt as though the topic, the different phases of sexual assault, really connected with the students that we have on campus. Sexual assault is an issue that doesn't discriminate. We all have a story, and the stories that you will see and hear at Take Back the Night are from those who are not only brave enough to be on stage, but those who may very well be the person sitting next to you, man or woman. And I hope that Take Back the Night not only empowers people to do their part and be a part of the solution, but will also bring light to the survivors.
I would like survivors of sexual assault to know that we are a community that supports them, that we do everything that we can to prevent any sexual assault on campus. But if that happens, that we're here for you. And so that you're not alone, that we understand the experience, that we're here to support you, provide resources, and also be available to talk with you and support you in any ways that you need. And that you should be able to feel that you can talk to both members of the student body community as well as faculty and staff community, and that, you know, there's not an ear anywhere that's not here to support you. The advice I would give someone who sees a sexual assault on campus is to report it. That we are all a part of a community and we are not here alone. And if you have seen something that troubles you, that you think is an assault, or that you feel that needs to be reported, then reach out. I would like survivors to take a number of things from Take Back the Night. I'd like them to understand that they're not alone, that this is something that they really can talk with others about. I'd like them to understand the resources that we have here on campus. And so for every friend, every conversation that you have about sexual assault, you need to be clear with where you stand, that you won't tolerate it, the community won't tolerate it, and that we are here to create a community where everyone feels safe.
Stand in the gap of yes and no, because your dignity is not some rodeo show. Get on your feet. Too many times we get comfortable with being average, but it's time for us to go above and beyond, standing in the ranks of superiority.
Good evening. Welcome students, faculty, and everyone else that cared enough to be here tonight. This is a really important issue, very close to my heart. My name is Stacy Brancini, and my family founded It Happened to Alexa Foundation after her sexual assault her first week at Boston University.